It's a great pleasure for me to pass the floor to His Excellency, to Edgars Rinkēvičs, the President of Latvia. Your country is absolutely brave and absolutely strong in support to Ukraine. Thank you, Mr. President.
Dear President Zelensky, dear Volodymyr, Excellencies, dear colleagues, friends. Exactly 3 years ago, as a Foreign Minister of Latvia, I was here in Kyiv when Russia started its unprovoked, brutal invasion of Ukraine. And it was already clear then that Ukrainians will resist. I think that today we admire the brave Ukrainians for their fight. We stand with Ukraine, we support Ukraine, and I think that we all see that Ukraine has shown the world true resilience in its fight for the good and in its fight for its people. But it has also come at a great cost. People kidnapped and tortured, lives lost. Thousands of Ukrainian children have been abducted and are forced to live in Russia or occupied territories. And it is absolutely clear that it cannot be left in vain. Ukrainians deserve just peace. Ukraine must be at the negotiation table, not on the table. Europe must be at the table as well. As you said yesterday, dear Volodymyr, this is our table. And we must ensure that Ukraine is strong and independent. Russia is contained and deterred. Borders are not changed by force. Europe takes full responsibility for its security by investing in its own defense. Ukraine, Europe, and the United States work together to achieve durable peace. Europe is more powerful, as some critics may say, but what we need is a strong will. Today is a pivotal moment for the world and Europe. Europe must be brave like Ukraine and use Russian frozen assets for Ukraine. Europe must be brave to make fast decisions on budget deficit rules to finance security and defense. And Europe must be brave to mobilize our resources and ensure that Ukraine gets everything it needs on the battlefield and beyond. Latvia, with Nordic Baltic countries, have been among the strongest supporters of Ukraine, and we will remain so. As President Nausėda just said, the Nordic Baltic countries are pledging to support Ukraine by providing equipment and training for a scalable brigade-sized unit. My own country devotes 0.25% of GDP to Ukraine's military aid. We will continue to do that. Dear colleagues, to be strong like Ukraine, it is time to step up our efforts in defense and deterrence, boost defense industry. We need weapons now and not in 10 years, for both Ukraine and also for ourselves. Unfortunately, the age of hard power has re-emerged, and we need hard power. Europe must act now. Latvia has made the decision to invest 4% of GDP in defense, with the aim to reach 5% in the near future. And I think that the new norm for NATO and Europe is 3.5% of GDP. Ladies and gentlemen, we all want just and lasting peace for Ukraine. In order to achieve this goal, we need the United States, its commitment and goodwill. Equally, we need to step up European responsibility and effort. And we are at the opening of this process. Search for the best solution is not an easy one. And I believe that Ukraine, Europe, the United States can and should work to achieve this goal. We sometimes have disagreements, we sometimes have harsh rhetoric, but it is important that we all search for solutions. If we try hard, we definitely are going to succeed. Slava Ukraini!
Дуже дякуємо, пане президенте. В
Thank
Україні
you,
лунає
Mr. President. In Ukraine, we have air raid sirens, so we remember that these days are the times of martial law, so let me remind you of that again.